You know what really gets on my nerves nowadays? People, especially celebrities, desperately trying to force an era.
You were talking a lot recently about sort of leaving the adolescent era behind and moving into a more adult era. How has that been going for you?
It's been fun.
It feels like this idea of celebrities having an era just keeps popping up all over the place again and again. This is something that I haven't seen get talked about that much, but honestly feels like a celebrity identity crisis. An identity crisis which reflects the way we view art. Guys, I'm in my art era. I'm an artist. Oh my god. This idea of a celebrity having an era is becoming such a key part of the industry, mostly the music industry. Hell, one of the biggest music tours ever, the tour that has a huge impact on the economy of every country it visits, Taylor Swift's Eras Tour. The Eras Tour plays into this kind of retrospective idea of Taylor Swift's career, segmenting each of her albums as an era, an idea she has heavily leaned into with her revisiting her body of work in re-recordings, and with her new album material being added to this tour, it feels like less of an organic shift in artistic expression and more of a overly planned out aesthetic mood board. I think that's the point I'm trying to pin down. The fact that everyone from musicians to artists to actors seem to be overthinking their identities, and how if someone wants to do something different, it has to be an era. And sometimes that can go well, and sometimes it doesn't go well. We'll get to Jojo in a second. The idea of having an era in one's career is integral in the way that we group together art. Think Picasso's Blue Period, the Beatles' psychedelic era, or Amy Winehouse's Back to Black era with the distinctive look of the beehive. Thank you, algorithm, for that, by the way. That was nice. People outside the industry obviously use the word era, and of course that's pretty harmless. It's just slang, linguistics, people using words. And I'm not that much of a hater that I'm going to do a whole video about words and phrases. Like, what am I, an English teacher? Although it is kind of fun to critique the way that people speak sometimes. That's fun in its own kind of way.
And then it's giving, like people say that too. Like it's giving green couch. No, it's a fucking green couch. It's not giving anything.
I have no problem with people using the term era casually. Like right now I'm in my dungarees era. It's giving dungarees. It's giving dungaree vibes. The problem that I have is people using the term era in that kind of industry way. The industry's tendency to segment identities into marketable images. Someone like Camila Cabello, who I think gets made fun of a lot of the time. I keep getting recommended videos of her like edgy hyperpop rebrand thing, and it's just so annoying. Lyrics to songs such as I love it, 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 I love it.
I love it, 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 I love it. I love it, 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 I love it. I love it, I love it.
It's an example of taking this kind of artistic approach, but in a forced way that feels gimmicky.
I feel like this new era, everything for me starts with the music and starts with the songwriting. Your inner baddie, embracing the chaos, the messiness, because like the music is so different and the aesthetic is so different.
I think it's time to make it clear that celebrities don't have a real personality. Every 2 to 4 years, a celebrity goes into a pitch meeting to decide their new era. Okay, Mr. Fisher, welcome to the personality meeting. Hi, yeah. So we've got some new projects coming up, and we thought, considering the market, that maybe you would go into a different style. Oh, okay. Okay, so your most recent projects have flopped, and we thought maybe go into a completely different style. Maybe go for a cowboy era. Maybe, with Beyonce's new album, there's a kind of country feel in the air. We've come at a point where our identities are so steeped in references that we can't begin to just do something new. And when something or someone new and interesting eventually does come along, it feels like an industry earthquake. Something new. I say all that, but of course, the idea of an artist wanting to have a strong point of reference is fundamental in the creation of art. In fact, what is art except the build-up of reference material? At least that's what I told myself when I had overdue coursework in art class at age 14. What the fuck? Is It's a point of reference. It's a reference. It's a pasty. It takes a really good artist to reference well, to express their appreciation for the art that came before them and do something interesting with that in mind, showing that they really do know what they're talking about when it comes to their references. But what about when an artist tries really hard to do a good reference, but then eventually shows that they don't know what they're talking about? Well, the whole internet does an intense video essay pylon, which I am a month late to, I know. Making this video, I'm very much aware that the Jojo Siwa hype train has left the station. Every YouTuber and their mother has talked about it, and it's still developing. Like, Jojo is still in her bad girl era, but this video isn't just about Jojo Siwa. This video is about eras. I don't want to hate on Jojo or add to the huge whirlpool of Jojo commentary. It's like a whole genre on YouTube now. But anyway, let's talk about Jojo. I was a bad girl. I did some bad things. I'm in my bad girl era. Calm as a bitch. You should have known better. What am I thinking doing this? What am I doing? This was a late night decision to do this. So I don't know if you guys know, there's this girl called Jojo Siwa, a humble American gal who has nothing strange going on whatsoever, just a completely normal child star. Jojo Siwa started out on this reality TV program, Dance Mums. Jojo is that child there. She was very young, doing that program. She started out very, very young.
She deserves to be on the pyramid. She was in the group dance.
She deserves nothing. Don't have an attitude that you are entitled in this world.
The Jojo Siwa early years are giving very much, Shirley Temple, child beauty pageant, very insane looking. And honestly, if I had to deal with Abby Lee Miller at that young of an age, I think I'd also go insane. After gaining more popularity and putting out the hit song Boomerang, Mercury Prize, Grammy Award winning song Boomerang, Jojo eventually moved into the Nickelodeon ecosystem. Nickelodeon absolutely ate Jojo up. They obviously loved her. She was all over their content, all over their TV shows.
I'm from Nebraska and I'm out here and I just won a Kids' Choice Award. Follow your dreams, do whatever you want to do, and just have fun.
She had consistent merch, consistent music releases. It was the age of Jojo. And honestly, just looking at the covers of these singles, it tells you exactly what you need to know about Jojo's brand. If there's one thing about Jojo, she has a strong brand. Her brand is very much if a unicorn got a hold of some Honey Boo Boo Go-Go juice and then did an hour-long dance routine to some Kids Bop music. And honestly, the more that Jojo leaned in during these Nickelodeon years, the more insane it got. I remember walking into like a Tesco or an Asda here in the UK and even finding Jojo's merch in there. There's me thinking like, how the hell did this get here? Why is this here in the UK? Like, this is an American Nickelodeon program. How has Jojo spread to the UK? Once you get famous as a child, they kind of slap your face on everything. Dolls, books, ice cream, cereal, you name it, there's probably Jojo Siwa merch of it. No, literally, if you can think of something, there's probably, a Jojo Siwa version of it. That whole side of the industry, like aimed at kids, is obviously something that, me and you are probably very blind to because we're not little kids anymore. We don't have any idea the kind of impact that people like Jojo Siwa have because it's not being aimed at us. Like Ryan's toy reviews, like what's going on with that? I don't know what that is, but they're putting that boy through the ringer. At the end of this YouTube video with Northwest, there's a little graphic of, Jojo's tour dates, and Jesus, I don't know, that seems like a lot of dates for a tour, especially when you're giving, this much energy in each show. They really strung, every possible penny out of Jojo. The brand of Jojo is interesting to look into because it's so insane, but at some point you really have to empathize with her. Jojo ended up doing her 16th birthday as an event at Nickelodeon, surrounded by much younger kids, insane energy, horrendous vibes, doing a whole collab with... Oh god, no, not you. Oh. Honestly, Jojo's Nickelodeon Sweet 16 event is something that I recommend you watch, just out of the sheer horror of it all. There's a whole bit where DJ Khaled and Elton John show up.
Happy 16th birthday, Jojo.
Remember, every day's your birthday. Every day's your birthday.
I hope you have the best birthday ever.
God bless you. and keep winning.
And to think, like, being 16, like, for me, I would have absolutely hated being surrounded by absolute insane childishness all the time. I think this is important context for what we're about to talk about, because honestly, I'm not surprised, looking at Jojo's childhood, how this turned out. There may be moments in all this where you think, what the hell is Jojo doing? But just remember, you know, this is her 16th birthday. Let's put it all in context. It was crazy from the beginning, and I'm not surprised that she wanted to turn her back away from this childish branding. At some point, you stop wanting to be a kid and you just want to have a real life. There's a clear distinction in Jojo's career, because at one point in 2021, she came out as a lesbian, which is amazing. Love that for you. Be who you are for your pride.
Be who you are for your pride. Don't have
After her coming out and her being a bit more true and honest with herself, comes the start of a genuine effort to try and lean away from that Nickelodeon child star image that she made for herself, which was never going to last that long anyway. Like, there's only so many times that you can yank your hair back into that really tight bow. Jojo, it's time for a new era.
Jojo Siwa's new era.
Only on ET.
So earlier this year, Jojo was getting ready to drop some new music that she seemed to have been in the process of making for like a while.
This moment of making it very clear that we are going from child star to adult artist is very important to me. And I have wanted to take my time to make sure this moment is as perfect as possible.
She was teasing it like crazy. She was really feeling herself. She was so confident in the music that she had just made. There was Instagram posts with close-ups of her eye in the music video. Like, she's making a point. I'm not the Nickelodeon girl anymore. I'm a bad girl. I'm doing bad things. The following content is not made for children and may be disturbing or offensive to some viewers. May contain sexual themes, violence, strong language, traumatic scenarios. Guys, what the fuck is about to happen? This is so intense. She's got her middle finger up. She's literally swearing, you guys. Oh my god, I'm gonna have to blur it. It's so intense. Like, honestly, like, stop watching, you guys. Like, this is not for the faint of hearted.
Everyone's been talking about the song, oh, this about the song, that about the song. No one's even questioned the music video yet. I'm about to start sharing some things from the music video, and that's where shit gets real crazy.
Honestly, there's nothing you can do to justify this much hype. Like, whatever you do next is going to be disappointing because you've been so outwardly cocky. That's the thing with Jojo. There's absolutely no subtlety. I mean, look at her. The last word that I would use is subtle. I think this whole situation would have been a lot easier for Jojo if she didn't hype up her new music as if it was the cure for cancer.
I kind of know that now there's going to be this hole. Who's the next generation of kids going to look to? So kind of felt that was my duty to like fill that hole, you know, because my new stuff will not be for kids.
Guys, you are not ready. No one has ever made this much of a change.
No one has made this dramatic of a change yet.
I'm the first in my generation to do this.
I am the first in the generation. It is very scary. You know, I think karma is a very good thing and a very bad thing. I think karma is a very important thing, and I think karma is a very powerful thing.
Now imagine everyone's shock when that hype leads to this. Honestly, words cannot describe. Like, the black makeup is insane. The whole outfit is insane. Well, I mean, it looks insane here right now. Like, I can't really make fun of her because I'm literally dressed the same. One thing about Jojo is, you know, she's had such a crazy childhood, so that when she tries to remove herself from one extreme image, she actually ends up, you know, going to the opposite end of the spectrum and just going for another extremely crazy image. There's no middle ground. It's either Rainbow Princess or dark demonic demon. The only way that you can explain why someone would want to dress like this is like, this is just Jojo's natural energy. When she's covered in sequins and glitter, you know, it's her natural habitat. And she drives in a car with her face like printed all over it. That's just her everyday car. It's not a special car, it's her everyday car.
Oh god, help me. I was just hit by a car. Please, help me.
Okay, sir, do you have any idea who hit you? Did you get a good look at the car?
Yes, as it drove off, I saw these dark demonic eyes glaring at me. She's obviously in her bad girl era.
The reason why everyone is going in on Jojo at the moment isn't just because she obviously looks crazy. Obviously that's a part of it. But it's more because she's taking herself so seriously. This is her genuine idea of what a bad girl is. And she's put so much thought into this new era that as soon as she's met with criticism, she, of course, doubles down.
Been criticized, that's for sure. And
Why do you think that is?
people are afraid of things they don't know. Things can be scary for people. New things can be very, very scary.
People are afraid of what they don't know is an insane statement to make when you look like a sleep paralysis demon, Jojo. You look crazy. And then she talks about how other people have told her that she's doing a good job.
Some of the most respected people in the world have come up to me and been like, what you're doing right now is so right. It is so right. It is what the world needs. Like, I heard that from Lil Nas X yesterday. Heard it from Meghan Trainor a few days ago.
Meghan Trainor, Lil Nas X, that was mean. That was a mean thing to say to Jojo. Don't encourage her. Okay, going back a bit, what I said about Jojo being a new woman and being an out and proud lesbian. Love that for her.
Gay rights. Thank you. Okay, gay rights.
But then in typical Jojo fashion, she makes it out like she is the first lesbian, the only lesbian. Jojo Siwa makes history as the first ever lesbian. Obviously I'm being hyperbolic, but a lot of people feel this kind of sense that Jojo genuinely thinks that she invented being a lesbian. So much so that she kind of got in a bit of trouble after, implying that she wanted to create a new genre that she was calling gay pop.
When I first signed with Columbia, I said I wanted to start a new genre of music. And they said, what do you mean? And I said, well, it's called gay pop. And they were like, what's that? And I was like, it's like K-pop, right? But it's gay pop.
No, but honestly, I do feel for her. Like, she seems confused. Not that her sexuality is confused. I didn't mean it like that. I mean that she has no concept of her impact. She has no scope for LGBT history at all. Like, honestly, show her Paris is burning and her brain would melt. I think this is all a product of being famous and homeschooled and sheltered away from normal kids her age. This is probably why she's hyping this up so much to this extent, because to her, this is probably the first time that she's been open like this in front of so many people. What's a dream guest on your podcast?
I'm gonna spice things up and say my ex. Oh my god, I can't believe I just said that.
Dream guest on my podcast? Oh my gosh. I mean, honestly, let's spice things up. One of my exes. Oh?
The whole point of why I'm making this video is because it's become so obvious how much these eras in a celebrity's life are so pre-planned and artificial and contrived. And it takes a rebrand as badly done as Jojo's to disillusion us to this common practice in the industry. And specifically in Jojo's case, the hyping up of a new era doesn't really work because, well, A, normal people don't really announce a new era. They just do it, they just be themselves without all the teasing.
No one's even questioned the music video yet. That's where shit gets real crazy.
And B, when you're trying to bring something major and new to the culture, that sounds kind of weird to say, the culture, but to bring something new to the culture, like you really want to leave a mark as an artist with this new era that you're building, you have to know your history and understand what came before. And yeah, Jojo feels quite ignorant to the culture that she's trying to replicate.
I think I just want to make it more clear that gay pop is a genre. You have pop, you have rock, you have country, and you have gay pop. Hi.
There's a clip with an interviewer, talking to Jojo, trying to make sense of her new get-up that she has on, and then she throws out, "Oh, you look like Gene Simmons from Kiss," which is a fair comparison. But yeah, Jojo doesn't know who that is. I love this clip.
I'm getting like a sexy glam Gene Simmons sea creature.
Going on. The amount of references that people have told me I look like in this video that I have no clue what they are is sickening. I'm adding that one to the list, but I'll take it. I heard sexy and I heard sea creature.
Another big thing for Jojo is she's trying really hard to replicate previous, bad girl eras from stars like Miley Cyrus, which I think is absolutely insane.
My biggest musical inspirations are Miley Cyrus Bangers era, Lady Gaga. It's no secret that my transition is heavily inspired by Miley Cyrus. I remember being 8 years old and she came out with Bangers, and every child star has made their impact in some which way becoming an adult star, but Miley's flip
Miley's switch, Miley's turn was the greatest thing that I've witnessed with my own two eyes.
People like Miley Cyrus who tried desperately hard to move away from that kind of Disney, Hannah Montana kind of image by going crazy. I'm sure Miley doesn't look back at that time of her life very fondly. And for many of those child stars, you know, a bad girl era is really just, well, it's a mental breakdown. And then for Jojo to want to replicate that, like, it makes me want to scream at Jojo like Abby Lee Miller.
Jojo, have you learned nothing?
Jojo! Have you learned nothing?
I think if Jojo was just being herself, like she made music just as herself, without the crazy costumes, without the crazy car, without the bad girl era, I think a lot of people would connect with Jojo. But I honestly don't think that Jojo has really come out of her Nickelodeon era. She's still tethered to that over-the-top crazy energy. Even though she's trying to handle adult themes, she's still doing the same over-the-top Nickelodeon energy. She's doing less slime challenges, and she's more she's a bad girl, she's doing bad things. You know what, I'm gonna take 5. I'm gonna wipe this off actually.
You're still a traitor.
That's the most it's going to come off. I just have like really kind of dark, tired eyes now, which I already had before, but bloody hell. I have slightly darker eyebrows as well. Okay, back to Jojo. Okay. This is going to sound funny, but the way that Jojo views culture is quite genuinely interesting to me. Jojo has a specific view on culture where, Jojo's mind is a postmodern pastiche of culture. We view a lot of musical artists in a kind of retrospective way, where we can see an artist's entire body of work out in front of us, and we can marvel at how layered they are. And now we have this kind of retrospective, postmodern way of looking at all this. A lot of artists now are under pressure to deliver distinctive eras with each of their albums. Like, I remember a lot of people being annoyed that Olivia Rodrigo chose to repeat a similar style and colour palette on her newest album. And I mean, what if that's just the girl's favourite colour? Let her live. Let her olive. Olivia. Honestly, I would rather an artist give me 2 of the same thing rather than try and make a new thing just for the sake of it, just for the sake of a new era. Because we've grown up, watching massive influential celebrities have really long careers all our lives. Most modern day celebrities become kind of hyper aware about their own longevity and wanting to have the most longevity and wanting to do the most with their career. Like me personally, I have video ideas that I could do, 10 years down the line. Maybe I'll do them, maybe I won't. Eventually I'm going to have my monk era, and then I'm going to have my midlife crisis era, and then I think I'm going to have a pirate era. That's just me planning ahead. At the end of the day, if you have the privilege of being an artist, don't let the industry pressure you into feeling like you have to constantly keep churning out eras. Because we as fans stop seeing people as great artists as soon as they start using simple phrasing like era. Because that means you're just self-obsessed as much as we're obsessed with you. And that's narcissism. Just be yourself. That's what people want. And Jojo, I'm sure she'll be fine. Honestly, I'm more concerned about the asbestos in the Jojo Siwa makeup kit. Like, are people okay after using that? We need to talk about that. Why is nobody talking about that? If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and follow me on Instagram. Maybe check out becoming a member, joining the channel. You guys could be in you're joining the channel era, your membership era. Karma's a bitch. I should know better. Yeah.